You guys are probably familiar with the Norse gods due to their very recent appearances in the Marvel movies. So, a lot of you will think that you already know about Thor, Odin, Loki, and Hel, but not everything the movies have told you is mythically correct, because the original Nordic gods of Scandinavia are kind of different than the Marvel interpretations. So, I kindly suggest you forget everything that you think you know about the Norse gods and enjoy the story. Our story starts off with Thor, the god of thunder, who was the son of Odin, the king of the Aesir gods. Quick side note. In Norse mythology, there are two sets of gods. There are the Aesir gods, who were the gods of the sky, and the Vanir gods, who were gods of nature. The Aesir gods are the more prominent of the two, and they're ruled over by Odin, the Allfather, while the Vanir gods are ruled by Freyr, the god of summer and the harvest. The Aesir, including a few Vanir gods, live in the Nordic realm known as Asgard, which is part of Yggdrasil, the world tree. Anyway, Thor had a wife named Sif, who's kind of an earth goddess. And she had long, beautiful hair that was yellow as wheat. One day... Good morning.
Good morning, dear husband.
Hey, Sif. Where's your hair?
Oh, I don't know.
What? It took a while, but they figured out who did it. Loki! One thing the movies got right is that Loki is the god of trickery. He's somewhat the villain of Norse mythology and is always causing trouble amongst the gods for the sake of causing mischief. Ow! Ow! Stop it! You're gonna pull off my arm!
You'll be lucky to have any limbs at all when I'm through with you.
Fine. Yes, I cut Sif's hair while you were sleeping. But you gotta admit, the whole thing is totally hilarious. Right? I mean, look at her. Aw, come on. Can any of you take a joke?
Joke? Joke? You call this a joke? How am I supposed to be a goddess without my beautiful hair?
Loki, if you don't make new hair for Sif, I will break every single bone in your body.
How am I supposed to find new hair?
Don't look at me. Figure it out.
Fine. I'll find a way to make some better hair for Sif. Sheesh. Due to being threatened by Thor, Loki had to find some new hair for Sif that was better than the one he cut off. So, to complete his task, he traveled to the Nordic realm of the dwarves, since dwarves are the best at making things. Loki is very cunning and clever, and so decides that the best way to make sure that the dwarves make the best hair possible is to stir up some serious competition between two families of dwarves. For the first family, he goes to the 3 sons of Ivaldi and says, "Hey guys, you know me. The gods are looking for some craftsmen to build them some magical items. But it seems you've been challenged. The 2 dwarf brothers, Brokk and Eitri, have challenged you, saying that they can make better items than you."
Says who? We won't be outdone. We'll make 3 items for the gods, and we'll make it better than the ones that they make.
Fantastic! But you must make sure that one of your items has to be new hair for my sister-in-law, Sif. She recently lost her hair. It's a long story.
We'll get right to it.
Then Loki went to the 2 dwarf brothers, named Brokk and Eitri, who were the second dwarf family on his list. Loki told them the exact same thing that he told the sons of Ivaldi. But this time, he said that the sons of Ivaldi had issued the challenge instead. Brokk, who was the more talkative of the 2, replied by saying,
"Oh, please. Me and my bro can do better than those amateurs."
"Sure, and I'm a snake," replied Loki. "I bet that you actually can't make better items."
"I accept the bet,"
replied Brokk.
"But if the gods like the treasures made by me and Eitri better than the ones made by the sons of Ivaldi, then I get to chop off your head."
Deal. Loki then made a plan to ensure that he would keep his head, and so conspired to make Brokk and Eitri mess up on their items. Meanwhile, the 2 dwarf brothers got to work. Between both of them, Eitri was the better builder, and so Brokk had to constantly man the bellows without stopping, so that the heat would be consistent and their materials would stay hot and moldable. So Eitri started making the first item, and while Brokk used the bellows, an annoying fly bit him on the hand. But he didn't stop. Then, while Eitri started working on the second item, the fly returned and bit Brokk on the neck. But he still didn't stop. This fly was actually Loki, who was trying so hard not to lose his head. By the time Eitri started working on the third item, Loki began to get afraid of actually losing the bet. So he started biting Brokk's eyebrows so much that blood started pouring from his eyebrows and almost into his eyes. For a second, he disrupted his pattern to wipe the blood from his eyes.
"Brokk, I told you not to stop, ever. Now the handle of the last item is too short." "Well, I guess it will have to do."
Yes!
Did you hear that?
So Loki brought the treasures that the sons of Ivaldi had made to Asgard, and Brokk brought his brother's treasures as well. The gods Thor, Sif, Odin, and Freyr all gathered to judge the items. Loki showed off his treasures first. "Hello, everyone. So, as most of you know, I was given the task of making new hair for Sif after a very small misunderstanding where I accidentally might have cut off her hair."
"Loki!"
Alright, I'll get to the point. I present you with my first treasure, Sif's new hair. It's made from gold and is attached to this crown. It seems like a wig at first, but it'll become part of you once you wear it and act like real hair.
Oh, thank goodness! Gimme! Ah, much better.
Amazing! Definitely better. I applaud the craftsmanship.
Thank you. Now, for the second item, I present His Majesty Odin with Gungnir, a spear that will never miss its mark.
Very impressive, Loki. Very helpful for someone who is blind in one eye. Thor's wife gets her magical hair, and Odin gets a powerful staff. But is there anything for me?
Oh, don't worry, Freyr. I got something extra special for you. A handkerchief.
Wow. Really? That's what you got for me?
Unfold it.
Okay. Whoa!
I present you with Skidbladnir, a magic boat big enough to carry all the Aesir gods, and you can always refold it back into a handkerchief and carry it with you in your pocket.
How convenient.
Beat that.
All right, gods. Me and my brother Eitri have made 3 gifts as well. Unlike Loki, we'll start with Freyr first. We present you with Glimbursti, a golden boar that glows in the dark and can pull your chariot. It's also faster than any horse and can run on water. That's amazing!
What? How is that better than a ship you can carry in your pocket?
Anyway, our next treasure is for the Allfather. We present you with a golden armband named Draupnir, and every night it can multiply itself into 8 more golden armbands. Remarkable. I'm going to be rich! And our last gift is for Thor. It's a hammer named Mjolnir that will always hit your target, always return to your hand, and is unbreakable. Unfortunately, due to a small incident, the handle ended up being too short. Sorry. What are you talking about? This is perfect!
It was love at first sight for Thor and Mjolnir. From then on, Thor and his hammer were inseparable, and no one could match his power and strength. The gods agreed that Brokk and Eitri's gifts were better, and so Brokk pulled out his huge pair of scissors and prepared to cut off Loki's head. I can't wait to see all the things I'll make with your head. Loki was running out of excuses, but managed to find a loophole by saying, "Fine, yes, you do have a right to my head, but the bet never included my neck. So, you can chop off my head, but only in a way that doesn't include my neck." Brokk protested, but Loki wasn't willing to give up his head unless it was in a way that didn't take any part of his neck. They went to Odin, who agreed that it would be impossible to cut off Loki's head without including his neck. And so Brokk had to go home. But if you thought that Loki was going to get away without being punished for all the terrible things he had done, you'd be wrong. Because the Norse gods still wanted to punish Loki for losing the bet and cutting off Sif's hair, they decided to sew his lips together so that he can't spread his manipulative lies and tricks. The moral of this tale is, don't spread lies and gossip. Don't pit others against one another, and instead, spread love and joy everywhere you go. And finally, don't always do funny things just because you think they're fun and hilarious, because certain actions can have serious consequences, and no matter how hard you try to evade those consequences, you will have to pay for them eventually. Either people will punish you, or life and karma will punish you. And trust me, you don't want to deal with the latter.